Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Farhan, aka AlfaTrion, but you can call me Alpha. I'm a Canadian game lover from Toronto, and since I grew up in the 80s and 90s, I have a certain love for retro games. I decided to stream on Twitch for a few reasons. Firstly, it was to raise funds for my local children's hospital, Sick Kids, the hospital for sick children. I'm proud to say that I've been able to raise over $20,000 US for them with my annual gaming marathon via Extra Life. Also, I wanted to raise awareness for the neurological disorder which I am dealing with, multiple sclerosis. MS is currently affecting my dominant arm and hand. They are both weakened, and my fingertips have a very limited sense of touch. This affects my gaming ability directly, as it is hard to feel the buttons, accurately move or click the thumbstick, or use a mouse. Don't get me started on how I have to type for a living as a developer. I have a bad habit of not finishing my games. I'm hoping that streaming regularly will help me in this area. Finally, I wanted to have a relaxed place for people to come hang out and chat about whatever. My only rules are be nice and no spoilers. Backseat gaming is definitely allowed and encouraged. Please follow me on my journey to go through my huge backlog of games while I try to overcome my minor disability with the controls. And if you can, please donate to my Extra Life campaign as it's #ForTheKids. Let's get to gaming. Alright, hey, how's it going? That was a little intro that I made. It's not final. Everyone I've asked to check it out, they said it doesn't sound like me speaking, so I'll probably change that. But if you are new here, now you know a little bit about me, so that's cool. Let me just do a little bit of setup here. You can hear some music in the meantime while I do a couple of things. Let me just update the chat here. Bam, that's done. Let me do one more thing. I don't have a stream deck on my laptop, which is what's broadcasting right now. So, a little bit trickier with the mouse, especially with my hand. I had some technical difficulties earlier where the Mega SD was not working. Like, it was working. I could see it in my OBS, but I couldn't see it on my actual monitor. And it turns out my HDMI plug was just removed a little bit. Pretty much unplugged. How about we get to the game? We're on Act 3. Boom. Yeah, see, it's so much easier with the Stream Deck. Using a mouse, it's pretty rough with me. Oh. Hello. Ultimate Warrior is there with us. Let me do one more thing. Oh, one moment, please, it's saying. Hopefully, Elgato will catch up. Start this. Okay. One more thing. This Elgato sure is taking its time. The computer's going really slow too. Okay, let me go back. What is this one moment please stuff? I can see it on my screen. Apologies. Let me... I'm going to unplug the Elgato and plug it back in. Now it left my monitor. It says no device. You could probably see the no device. One moment, please. Let's give it a second. Oh, I know. What if I do this? Legato. Deactivate. Boom. And then activate. Bam. Last time this happened, I ordered a backup Elgato just for extra life. And luckily I didn't have to. Yeah, there you go. We're good. We're golden. And my one viewer that I had left already. All good. Whatever, let's continue this game. I've been itching to beat this for a while. We're on Act 3. We'll give you the rundown when we continue here. And let's go. Hopefully the audio is good. Where are we here? 8, 10 hours. 32 saves. Act 3. Let's go.
With the start of this year's Kyoto Summit just 3 hours away, the delegates from the participating countries are beginning to arrive at the conference center.
Sounds like Secret of Mana.
Domestic and international opinion, carried out just last week, shows that the vast majority of respondents favor a complete quarantine of Neo-Kobe as a means to combat the risk of the Snatcher menace.
The Snatcher menace.
Now that the Chief's death has been confirmed, it won't be long before they strip us of our J.U.N.K.E.R authorization.
They will be deciding how to handle Neo-Kobe at the summit in just 3 hours.
There are rumors that they're going to use nukes on the city to make sure the Snatchers are wiped out.
That's ridiculous. Come on, this is the 21st century.
That may not be as improbable as it seems. The world's leaders are extremely concerned about the Snatcher problem.
The Chief was going to calm this hysteria in his speech at the summit, but that'll never happen now.
3 months ago, government pressure on J.U.N.K.E.R operations increased dramatically. Gillian's transfer here was really our last chance.
Our own chief was snatched. It's not too surprising they don't want to trust us anymore.
I've heard that the Army and FBI are going to take over operations now.
That's correct. That too will be officially decided in 3 hours' time.
3 hours, eh? Is there any way we can find their hideout in that time?
If we don't, we and everybody else in this city are finished.
As far as they're concerned, we're just like a cancerous tumor that has to be cut out.
We have to hit the Snatchers' headquarters before then.
Gillian, can you do it?
If we only knew where it was, I should be able to manage something.
Hitting their outposts like Queen's Hospital won't do any good. We have to find their main nerve center.
What about the memory of that Snatcher who was impersonating the chief?
Just like the others, it was completely blanked. It's a form of self-destruct mechanism that they use.
Wait a minute. Metal, what about tracing that video phone call from Jamie?
It was no good. The call didn't last long enough. Still, it definitely did come from within the city.
Damn. Where are they hiding?
Gillian, can't you remember anything at all? Didn't Jamie say something that implied you were somehow connected to the Snatchers?
Nothing. I can't remember a damn thing. Metal, I want you to tell me everything you know about me. Why was I sent to J.U.N.K.E.R headquarters? Where did I come from?
Here it comes.
Gillian...
Metal, the chief's dead. Tell me everything you know about me.
Well, you see...
Metal!
All right. With the chief gone, you are the highest-ranking officer here.
You knew all along?
Of course.
Where were we rescued from?
3 years ago, you and Jamie were taken into protective custody in the Siberian Neutral Zone by the 17th Siberian Investigative Force. More precisely, you were discovered in cryogenic sleep pods in an underground bunker near Moscow.
Cryogenic sleep pods? You mean they were frozen?
This is a photograph of the bunker. There is no record of when you were placed there. In addition, the third pod was empty at the time you were discovered.
There were 3 pods?
You were revived and taken into custody by the army. Apparently, as a result of the extended sleep, both of you suffered from complete amnesia. However, another theory suggests your memories may have been intentionally erased. This is the only piece of evidence found at the site.
That's Harry's picture, from when he was a kid.
That's correct. Harry is Gillian and Jamie's son. It's been confirmed by DNA tests.
Harry? Harry was my son?
Using the information gained from the photo, it was established that you are Gillian Seed, and your wife, Jamie Lorraine. Both of you are American citizens, born in the late 1960s.
The 1960s?
In addition, both of you vanished without a trace in 1989. There is no other information available about you after that.
1989?
Yes, you come from a world that's been gone for 50 years.
But what does that have to do with the Snatchers?
When the 17th Special Investigative Force was bringing the two of you out, there was an accident. Though the two of you were all right, most of the 17th was killed. One of them was a Snatcher. Of course, before their departure, they all underwent thorough examinations. So, if one of them was snatched...
It had to be somewhere in Siberia, right?
That's correct. And in order to attempt to determine the origin of the Snatcher, as well as your true identities, you were assigned to J.U.N.K.E.R headquarters. The hope was that exposure to the Snatchers would help you regain your memories.
Moscow? 50 years ago?
Almost everyone who was in Moscow at the time was killed in the catastrophe.
So Gillian and Jamie are the only living witnesses?
Harry was my son. Did he know?
No. It was highly classified information. He was never told.
I was never able to do anything for him.
Wait a minute, Gillian. Didn't Jamie say something about taking a boy hostage?
That's right. They must know about Harry and are using him to threaten her.
We have to find their headquarters quickly.
We've only got 3 hours.
Gillian, let's think this all through again. We may get some kind of a hint out of it.
You're right. There may be some clue in the way they're operating.
All right. Let's go over what we know about them.
Okay, so people were complaining about Metal Gear Solid 4 about the cutscenes being really long. That was pretty long. This was made in 1998. The original Snatcher, at least. This one came out in 94. Okay, so let's begin. Hopefully the stream is okay now. I think there was some buffering or something going on. Again, if you're joining me, please let me know if the audio is okay with whatever method you want. Twitch chat or Hangouts or whatevs. Let's go. First of all, what's the Snatcher's weak point? I've been shooting them in the face. Well, the sun's rays are hurting the skin. So let's say ultraviolet. This is the Snatcher's weak point? That's correct. Their weak point is their defective artificial skin. Long-term exposure to ultraviolet rays causes mutations in the melanocytes in the stratum basale. Man, my bio memory is gone. My bio OAC stratum basale of their skin, which become cancerous. Specifically, long ultraviolet rays in the 250 to 350 nanometer range is responsible for causing the cancer. Are responsible? That's right. And that's the reason they are so limited as to when they can be out. They only come out at night in the middle of the winter and wear sunscreen even then. That's the method Jean used to figure out what the Snatchers were up to. How ironic, it turns out that the destruction of the ozone layer actually had a benefit for us humans. Right. That's right. Now what method were they using to move and be able to avoid ultraviolet rays and sunlight at the same time? We just walked this whole underpass. Is that what it was called? The subway system? This is the method of movement that the Snatchers were using? That's right. They were using the abandoned tunnels of the old tube liner system to get from place to place. Because the subway was called Tube Liner in Neo-Kobe. That's how they were able to move around without being noticed. We just walked in this. Nielsen's apartment, the old factory, Queen's Hospital, all of their hideouts are connected by the tube liner. But maybe there's a tunnel under the main base as well? There's a good chance of that. Sorry, let me check on one more thing. I'm having trouble using the mouse like more today than normally because I kind of had a mini relapse last weekend and my hand's still pretty bad. But anyways, let's continue. Next, what phenomenon was always observed at any location where Snatchers appeared, including the underground tunnels? I'm gonna say Snow 9. The sneeze is making the Snow 9 is making people sneeze. This is the phenomenon you're talking about? That's right. And what was the cause of the sneezing? I don't know why we're doing this. Snow 9. This is the reason for the sneezing. You're correct. The sneezing was caused by the presence of the allergen Snow 9. Snow 9 is an artificial form of pollen developed by the military, and its presence is limited to certain regions. Snow 9 sounds like a shitty rapper. They were using it to interfere with radio transmissions and keep people away. They probably were producing it intentionally themselves. The only regions of the city where Snow 9 is still present are areas around the Ina River. It has been cleared out of other areas because of the danger it presents. So that means their base must be somewhere near the Ina River, right? That is a fair conclusion. They are probably somewhere near the Ina River, protected by the Snow 9. Accessible to the tube liner and near the Ina River. And we must not forget the 3 photographs that we found the Snatchers with. All of them were related to the Soviet Union before the catastrophe. The map of the wall on Nielsen's apartment. The picture of the temple in the director's office at Queen's Hospital. And the photo of the red square hidden in the chief's office. Why do the Snatchers keep pictures and memorabilia like this? Maybe they're homesick? Maybe that's where they come from? Homesick? Get serious, Mika. They're robots, you know. Let's analyze this a little closer. What city is related to all 3 of these pictures? I'm going to say Moscow. I can move forward. Well, the first one right here. This is a city they have in common. That's correct. It's Moscow. I'm sorry. I'm getting another message. Oh, thank you. Apparently the stream's going good. Moscow must be where they come from. That must be the basis of their programming. You might be right. Just as people have a hometown that is dear to them, their creators may have put a hometown into their programming. They use very advanced artificial intelligence systems, so they may have needed something like that to maintain their emotional balance. Yeah, they were born out of nothing, but they needed to give them some kind of image as an emotional base. So Moscow is their creator and their home. And the place they found Jamie and I.
In other words, this homing instinct thing of theirs has led them to set up their headquarters in some place that reminds them of home, or their creator.
What part of this city is like Moscow?
Moscow's really cold, right? They get a lot of snow, don't they?
Snow?
No snow has been recorded in Neo-Kobe in several years.
Well, then that's not it.
Wait, what about that pollen? That crystal bioengineered stuff, Snow 9?
Now that you mention it, wasn't it snowing on Jamie's video phone call?
That's right. Their hideout has to be somewhere close to the Ina River.
The Ina River flows for miles around here, Gillian. We could never search it all in time.
Gillian, let's look at a map of the areas investigated so far. This is an enlarged view of the southwest portion of the city around the Ina River. This blue area is that in which Snow 9 is present. Now I'll superimpose a chart of the abandoned tube liner tunnels. From this we can establish those areas with Snow 9, which are accessible by subway tunnel.
Damn. Nice try, but it's still too large. We could never cover it in 3 hours.
Don't give up so fast, Gillian. What about that image of home thing we were talking about? Maybe there's some kind of geographic similarity. Maybe the same view can be seen or something.
I'll display a map of Moscow alongside.
What's this?
What?
Look, the rivers are exactly the same shape.
This is the Moscow River over here.
It looks like we're on the right track, Metal. Show us the location that Jamie and I were picked up from.
All right. Right here.
Metal, before the catastrophe, what was at this location?
The headquarters for the entire Soviet Union, the Kremlin.
The Kremlin? That Snatcher said something about taking Jamie to their Kremlin.
Metal, what spot in Neo-Kobe would match up with the location of Moscow's Kremlin?
Calculating. This is the spot. It's presently occupied by an old church. It's rather large, but reports indicate it's been abandoned for nearly 20 years.
And it's right in the middle of the Snow 9 and subway area.
That's it! That's their headquarters, their new Kremlin.
Gillian, let's go!
All right.
Wait, Gillian. I want to go with you.
Sorry, Mika.
Hey, I'm a junker too, you know.
I know, and you're a great one at that.
So take me with you then.
You head to the summit to warn the delegates. They haven't given up, you know.
The summit's in Kyoto. I'm not going to be the only one to run.
You've got to convince them not to use nukes on Neo-Kobe.
We found their hideout. There's no need now to sink the whole island.
Yes, but...
It's a tough job. Can you do it?
Okay, Gillian. I'll do what I can.
Thanks. Thank you, Mika.
Don't say it, okay?
Let's go, Gillian!
Gillian?
Yes? What's wrong?
How about dinner sometime?
Dinner?
Yeah, you know, dinner.
Mika.
Not interested. I thought it would be nice, you know, to kick back, relax. It's Christmas after all.
Christmas, huh? I'll be back by then.
Gillian, we have to hurry.
That's a promise, right? I heard you.
Yeah, okay. But I gotta go to church first.
I'll see you soon then.
Okay, Metal, let's go.
Okay. Got a date. Ooh. This is the last turbo cycle. Let's take a look. This spare turbocycle has not been painted, but that does not affect its locomotive functions. The parking lot has become rather lonely. It appears quite safe. It has not been tampered with. Okay. We won't have a problem like last time. I did not read any motion. You and I are the only ones here. Let's go. Let's save, because that was a long time. I think it's here. I'll save here just in case. Okay, let's go. I wonder how long this act is. Alright, now boarding the turbocycle. We boarded the turbocycle. Where would you like to go? Of course, I know the answer to that question. Church.
I've input the map data on the Kremlin's locations. Lift off.
When he said 1989 earlier in that previous cutscene, I was like...
Flight configuration. Now gaining altitude.
Thinking of Public Enemy.
Jamie, please be safe.
Gillian, please keep in mind that we're working with a strict time limit.
A 50-year debt in 3 hours.
I wonder if...
Snow!
Snow 9, to be specific. We've entered the Snow 9 region. Please put on your breathing filter. Direct inhalation is dangerous.
All right.
Radio transmissions will also be impossible from this point on. Understood?
No mask on his image.
Now descending. Conversion to hover configuration complete. Gillian, we've arrived.
Let's go. We've arrived at the church. Wow. Now I know why they call it their Kremlin. It's a very old church. It bears quite a resemblance to St. Basil's Cathedral. No doubt they thought the same thing. It appears to be snow, but it's actually Snow 9. Try to avoid inhaling any of it directly. It's surrounded by a large grove of tall cedar trees. This is likely to keep just about anyone away. Given the season, a few Christmas lights would really liven up the scene. Let's listen. The only sound is that of the wind. The building is about 50 years old. It appears very well maintained. So where's the entrance? On the front side of the building, as are normal entrances, especially to churches. This is definitely Snow 9. A sensor scan reveals that a tube liner tunnel passes directly underneath this area. Well, that's no surprise. Looks like we've got the right place. Not showing anything out of the ordinary. Okay. Let's go inside.
All right, now opening the door.
What's wrong? Won't open?
I've scanned it, and it's not locked. It is probably rusted into place.
Not surprising. After all, our friends always go in and out through the basement.
Let's push it together.
All right. 1, 2, 3!
That got it.
What's this? Would appear to be some kind of chapel for the Snatchers. Are you telling me those things pray? To whom? No doubt to their creator. That portrait on the wall is probably a representation of him. Is it liquid? Let's listen first. It's perfectly quiet. So they have already left for the summit? This person is in no doubt the one the Snatchers worship as their creator. Is he Alucard? This guy. Isn't that random? Oh shit. Is that Modnar? One moment. I'll compare the picture with my data on random. Random who saved our life a few times? While the facial bone structure of this individual in the portrait is nearly identical to that of random, a positive identification is impossible, as the picture is not a photograph. That just looks too much like him to be a coincidence. Let's look at it again. Now that you mention it, the person in the portrait does look like random Hajil. Okay. These are the chairs for the worshippers in the chapel, no doubt. Everything is nice and orderly. It's as if the pre-collapsed Soviet Union has been recreated here. Something is written on the painting. The creator, Modnar. Modnar is random spelled backwards, if you haven't noticed that yet. So this is Professor Modnar? The one the Snatcher was talking about, eh? It appears to be a portrait of that person. This microphone sometimes smells like it's on fire. But it's not hot. Maybe it's just the foam thing. It appears to be a portrait of that person. There are a number of scratches on the surface. They were almost certainly caused by the Snatchers. More like scratchers. It's all very organized, almost inhumanly so. There's another room farther back. I'm not showing anything out of the ordinary. Okay, I guess we could move. Now moving into the back room. Snatchers! Look at them all. I'm not picking up any energy readings. They are all deactivated in some kind of suspension mode. So this is their warehouse A. There must be a few hundred of them here. They continue all the way back. When we be up in the club, we continue all the way back. Still, this doesn't look like a factory to me. I'm gonna save it. So, if you're trying to use my closed captioning on the stream thing, if you're on Twitch, not on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, I don't know if that's working yet, so apologies. I wanted to get the captions to work while the cinematics in this game were happening because there's no subtitles in the game, because they didn't care about hearing impaired people, I guess. I'll try to figure that out. At the end of the day, it might only be my voice that has the closed captioning. Yeah, I'll have to do more research into that. Ugh. These are the endostructures which have yet to be artificial skin installed. Yet to have the artificial skin installed. The bone sizing devices in the skull slits are all still set to the smallest sizes. Cool. So their victims haven't been chosen yet. They're all just waiting their turn. Look again. They almost look as if they could spring to life at any moment. If this many Snatchers were all to start moving at the same time, there's little we could do. There seem to be a number of containers stacked up in the back of the room. Look at the containers. What about the size of these containers? The volume of these containers would be just perfect for shipping one of these snatchers. This is no doubt how they got here. Okay. Look at this container again. The endostructures were all shipped here in these containers. Okay, so we're just going to assume that now. None of these snatchers appear damaged. All they need is their energy packs. The gender units have yet to be installed, however. I do not see any tools for the equipment for maintaining anything in the area. This room would appear just to be just a storage area. There's some kind of label here. 23rd Siberian Investigative Force. 23rd. The 17th saved us 3 years ago. Siberian Investigative Force. It would appear that these snatchers were brought to Neo-Kobe from Siberian Neutral Zone. From the Siberian Neutral Zone. It seems that the investigative forces have been responsible for shipping the snatchers. In other words, the investigative forces have been snatched, just like when they found us. I see. So Siberian investigative, let's say SIF, bring the snatchers out of Siberia and into storage here. I think you're right, Metal. And when the snatchers just wait here in storage to be reactivated and adjusted after what? Whoa. Ah, ooh. Let me try that again. I think you're right, Metal. And then the snatchers just wait here in storage to be reactivated and adjusted after their victims are selected. A rather efficient system. I wonder where the actual snatching takes place. The back part of this room may hold the answer to that question. Well, let's do a little motion detector. I'm not picking up any large movement signals. Let's take a look at the box again. These containers were definitely brought out of Siberia. I can detect traces of contaminants unique to the region on the containers. There we go. Continue. Are you ready, Gillian? Now heading for the room farther back. There's no way for me to go back from where I came. Snatchers culturing room. I hear a beep. Did I trigger some kind of alarm? The mechanism is operating. Let's listen. I'm not registering any sounds except those regular noises coming from the equipment here. Okay. We're good. Oh, look at those bubbles covering the guy's junk. Perfect. But that lady's boobs on the other side, they're fine. No bubbles there. Look at the cylinder. Gillian, there are snatchers with their artificial skin already installed here. Look at it again. These units are nearly ready to perform a complete snatch. Sorry.
This is where they fuse the artificial skin onto the snatcher's endostructure. First, they adjust the size of the still skinless snatcher to the size of the individual who is to be snatched. The snatcher's overall shape and size can be adjusted by expansion or contraction of sizing rods. Their sex is controlled by gender units, which are installed at this point. Then, the face is modified to match the intended victim by adjusting the size of the upper and lower jaw, cheekbones, temporal bones, and tooth alignment.
Just like Gibson said, that means there are limits to the size of the people that they can snatch.
That's right. The limits of the mechanism mean that they can't snatch children, the elderly, or people who are very tall or heavy. And this is where the artificial muscle's attached.
Is it organic?
No. It appears to be coated with a type of plastic gel capable of mechanical response. Like human muscles, it creates mechanical energy through chemical reactions. And this is where the artificial skin is attached. In order to prevent the synthetic cells, developed using biotechnological protein design techniques, from rejecting the inorganic material below, they attach it gradually over a number of days.
And this is the stuff that gets cancer if they stay out in the sun too long.
Finally, they attach body and scalp hair. The process involves transplant of synthetic hair follicles as well, so the hair will grow back if it's lost.
What about scars or birthmarks?
It would appear that they make those adjustments at this point in the process, as they would for wrinkles to simulate age.
Interesting. I'm still looking, right? Look. Area. Computer terminal is installed on each preservation cylinder. These cylinders are used to culture the Snatcher's artificial skin. Endostructures are submerged within them. Am I on the ground? Or is this Metal Gear's point of view? Ceiling. It appears that weak ultraviolet rays are being projected from above. This is really advanced, way beyond anything we saw at Queen's Hospital. The whole area is protected as a clean room. There is a door at the far end of the room. Let's look at the door first. A small metal door with a doorknob attached. Let's look at the terminal. These terminals must all be connected to a host computer with monitors, which monitors conditions inside each of the cylinders. Oops. Investigate the terminal. Power is on. Look at this, Gillian. The data of people to be snatched is all being neatly processed. It's locked, but I should be able to open it from this side.
So this is where the whole thing begins. The endostructures arrive here from the Kremlin. Then they convert them into copies of their victims. And finally, they head out into the city using the old subway system.
With artificial skin maintenance being handled at Queen's Hospital.
But who's behind all this?
Gillian, look at this. There are some finished Snatchers over here.
Get a load of this. The U.S. President, the Prime Ministers of Japan, and the U.K.
Gillian, you're in here too.
What?
Figures. They were looking to snatch every VIP at the summit.
And the last Junker, you. It definitely looks like they plan on moving out beyond Neo-Kobe.
If they were to snatch every major world leader, they'd practically be able to control the planet. Still, that's odd. With their flawed skin, pulling something off like that would really be difficult.
Chin said they had found the key to developing a perfect artificial skin. Maybe they've already produced it.
No idea. But the number of Snatchers here makes it clear that they're up to something new.
Gillian, this is definitely their nest. We should destroy everything.
Not yet. Not until we found Jamie. Metal, how much time do we have left?
The summit should have begun by now. We don't have much time. And once our legal privileges are suspended, I won't be able to help. In fact, I'll be forced to restrain you.
I know. If the military wants to avoid nukes and goes for a surgical strike on this facility, what would they likely use?
Probably a phased particle beam from one of the attack satellites.
A phased particle beam, huh? That'll wipe this complex right off the map.
Everything, including the soil, will simply evaporate. The attack will leave just a large crater.
Metal, can you convince them to give me another hour? Even 30 minutes will help.
Understood. I'll try my best.
And I'll try to find and rescue Jamie in that time.
I can't transmit here due to interference from the Snow 9. I'll have to leave the area and then send the message.
All right. Do it, Metal.
Gillian, don't forget. 30 minutes. You must get out before then.
I understand.
Gillian, I'm sorry I couldn't help you better.
Don't worry about it. I'll be able to move faster by myself anyway. 30 minutes should be plenty. Go, Metal!
Yes, sir. Don't forget, 30 minutes!
Who's gonna save my game now?
30 minutes? Oh, this is gonna be tight. That room's the only place left to check. Let's take a look.
The door said E1. Ah! So glad I don't have to reload. Ah! Oh no! No! Oh my god. Okay, so this is nope. This is put your weapon on. This is take away the weapon, and then this is shoot. Because I can't feel the buttons when I'm mashing, my thumb doesn't always hit the same area. It'll move on its own because of my condition. So I'm shooting, and then I'll turn off my gun. And then the spider things shoot me. So let's try that again. I'll hold the controller up so I could like kind of keep it in view. Oh. Oh no. It's hard to see which one to shoot first when they flip around like that. So glad there's no reload. Ah! Oh, that was way better.
I wasn't ready for that. They almost got me. All right, let's open the next door.
This door has no name.
Doesn't look like there's anything here. Whoa!
All headshots.
Jeez, these guys are tough. Of course, I didn't exactly expect them to welcome me with open arms. Okay, let's try this next door.
I need some nanomachines. They hit me pretty hard.
Jamie, are you all right?
Gillian, you came for me.
Are you hurt?
No, they won't lay a finger on me. Not until the new artificial skin is completed anyway.
Artificial skin research? You?
Gillian, I've got my memory back. All of it.
What happened? Tell me, Jamie.
They said they'd kill him. They said they'd kill Harry. They forced me. I had to help them with the skin development. They said I had to help them because the professor was ill. Wasn't getting any better. Gillian, the engineer Harry, he's our son. He's been living on his own now for 50 years.
Jamie, I'm afraid that Harry's...
There was nothing I could do. They forced me, but I can't do it anymore.
Jamie!
The professor, he just died. He was over 100.
The professor? What? This old man?
Don't you remember? It's Professor Modner. Professor Petrovich Modner.
Petrovich.
This old man is Modner?
He's been confined here for 3 years now, just to develop the Snatcher's artificial skin. Terrible. Doing that to your own father.
Whose father? Jamie, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
You really can't remember, can you?
Jamie, tell me who I am. What were we doing at the Kremlin?
Are you sure you really want me to, Gillian? It's all so awful, but if you must know, I'll tell you. Try to remain calm, okay? 56 years ago, you and I were involved in a top-secret Soviet project. It was still during the time of the Cold War. The gulf between East and West was as wide as ever. Everybody was worried about nukes. At that point, the world's armies were at their largest ever. Leaders still believed that a strong military meant a strong nation. There were rumors that there would be an agreement to end the production of nuclear weapons. On the other hand, the major powers like the US began to get involved in a space weapons race. But not the Soviets. The conservative despots in the Kremlin had another, completely different idea for gaining military superiority. A horrible plan, something no one else would think of. At that time, the countries of the communist bloc were facing an economic crisis. Popular movements pushing for democracy were springing up all over. Communism itself was facing extinction. Facing pressure from the reformers, the Kremlin began to panic. And that's when that horrible, childish plan was launched.
And that was the Snatcher Project. Replace your enemy's leaders with puppets of your own. Then you control their governments, their economies, take over a country from the inside out.
That's right, Gillian. And to develop these robots, they assembled some of the most brilliant scientific minds from around the world. Some of them were even brought in against their will. At the crux of that development effort was a group called the Frankenstein Project Team. You and I were members of that team, Gillian. It was a 4-person team led by the late Professor Modner here. The robotics expert was Professor Modner himself. His son, Elijah Modner, handled genetics and microbiology.
Elijah.
For nanobiology and picobiology, myself. And for behavioral science and psychology, you, Gillian. Early development was carried out at a lab in Novosibirsk, but was later moved to a secret facility under the Kremlin. At the time, the Glasnost and Perestroika movements were gaining momentum, and they rightly feared for the existence of the program if it should become known. But some of the reformers did learn of the project, and they conspired with the US to block it. Gillian, you were a CIA special agent sent by the United States to infiltrate and sabotage the project.
I was CIA?
Yes, and the government knows that. That's why you were assigned to the J.U.N.K.E.R team.
What? Who am I?
Work on the project continued to go smoothly. But then, on June 6, 1996, there was that accident. A mysterious explosion at the Chernobyl facility spread a bacterial weapon that was under development there into the atmosphere, destroying the country and the project. Gillian, was it you? Did you set off that explosion?
What? You can't be serious. You think I caused the catastrophe?
Somehow, during the confusion, Professor Modner and our son Harry managed to get picked up by American agents. But we couldn't get out in time, you and I and Elijah. In a shelter below the Kremlin, we entered a cryogenic sleep. Our plan was to sleep there until the toxic effects of the bacteria were safely passed.
And then 48 years later, 3 years ago, we were discovered by the 17th Special Investigative Force.
Yes, but when they found us, Elijah's pod was already empty.
Elijah Modner? That guy whose picture was in the church? The one that looks like Random?
That's right, Elijah is alive. Elijah is here and working on the Snatchers.
Why don't you let me finish your little story?
That was creepy.
Who's there?
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jamie? Ah, yes. And Gillian.
Is this Dracula?
It's me, Jamie.
Elijah? Is that really you?
Random? No, not quite.
So, you remember me, do you? I am Elijah Modnar, the only son of Professor Petrovich Modnar. I'm afraid I've grown somewhat old and feeble since we last met, however.
Elijah, why are you doing this? Your father, Professor Modnar, he passed away a few minutes ago.
What? My father is dead?
Elijah, what happened to you? The Elijah I knew could never do anything like this.
I've changed, Jamie. These 40 years have changed me.
I can't believe it. What happened to you?
What happened to me? Jamie, do I actually have to explain it to you? Jamie, it's you. Your beauty is the cause of all that has come to pass here. 57 years ago, I was obsessed. With my research, yes. And with you, Jamie. At the time, I was still young, having just graduated with my genetic engineering degree. My father's connections got me on the team, and there, I met you. You were working as my father's assistant. Your beauty, your smile, I was stricken. I saw something in you that I never felt with women of my own country. You warmed my cold, young heart, Jamie. You opened me up, and I couldn't stop my feelings.
Elijah.
Oh, I was so happy. The political situation was crumbling around us, but every day was a joy. I gained my father's trust, and with you there watching over me, I was able to work as hard as I ever have on the project. However, my happiness did not last for long. Gillian, it was you.
Me?
You showed up and all was ruined. You arrived and joined our project team. Far from home, Jamie found comfort in a man from the same land. Your relationship grew quickly, and all I could do was stand by and watch. Jamie and Gillian fell in love, were joined, and even had a child.
Harry.
Even then, my feelings for you only grew stronger. Worried about me, my father tried to have me removed from the project, but I persisted. Jamie, I always wanted to be near you.
Are these pictures supposed to be inverted?
The democratic movements that had consumed the rest of the Eastern Bloc spread to our country as well. The Cold War was over. The hardliners who had pushed for its development were stripped of power and the project was cancelled. The reformers, trying to cover up the existence of such a crazed project, ordered that all materials related to it be destroyed and that we stand trial for our actions. Jamie and Gillian were to be returned to their homeland. That's about the time that I learned that you, Gillian, that you were a CIA agent, and that you were trying to pass documents on our research to your military. The country had sold us out. I'm no politician. I couldn't care less about what happened to the country. All I cared about was my research and Jamie. And I was to lose all of that, everything. For someone so young, you cannot understand how great of a shock that was.
Elijah.
That is when I decided, I swore I would see that secret, crazed project through to the end. At the time, the bio-droids were 80% finished. The main part, their endostructure, was essentially completed. But we still were having trouble with the artificial skin, the area that Jamie and I were assigned to. We called it artificial skin, but there was of course no need to duplicate T lymphocytes, Langerhans cells, or endocrine cells. All we needed was keratinized cells and melanocytes to provide the pigment. With the artificial protein development techniques that we had in those days, full-scale synthetic cell development was very difficult. Research like this took months, years. The original project called for us to simultaneously snatch an entire country. In other words, a whole nation, or an entire city had to be snatched over the course of one night. For that reason, a powerful biological agent, which could quickly and effectively kill the population of the country, was being simultaneously developed.
Lucifer Alpha.
That's right. A type RAO11 virus which another team was developing. For someone like myself, who was closely involved in the project, blowing up the lab was quite a simple task.
My God, Elijah, do you know what you're saying? That explosion killed half the world's population.
I moved all the materials and records essential to the bio-droid project into the shelter and executed my plan on June 6th. After sealing off the lab, I brought the two of you with me to the underground shelter, and we entered a cryogenic sleep. But not before I programmed an atmospheric research satellite to transmit a wake signal when the danger from Lucifer Alpha had passed.
And 10 years later, Lucifer Alpha naturally mutated into a non-toxic form.
But the automatic revival system failed to work.
Oh no, it worked. Just as planned. It revived me 10 years later. A little sooner than the two of you, of course.
But even though you sealed the lab with the explosion and everything, you should have been exposed. Why weren't you?
Oh, I was. But by that time, the vaccine L-Angels had already been developed.
So everything went just as you planned it then?
Yes, up until that point. But my real struggle was yet to come. My original plan was to revive Jamie as well, and for the two of us to finish the development of the bio-droids. You, Gillian, you were to stay asleep forever. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not after looking at Jamie's peaceful face there in the pod. Besides, I could never have convinced her to work with me on the project anyway. I knew the time was not yet right, so I changed the timers of your pods to permanent on.
How could you do such a thing?
And so for the next 40 years, I worked alone in that cold and lonely room under the Kremlin, trying to complete the artificial skin for the Snatchers. For days and days, no one would visit me. I never saw the sun or felt the changing of the seasons. Still, I always had Jamie by my side. You were always there for me to talk to. Just you and I for 40 years in that dark cellar.
Oh, you poor, poor man.
And then, 3 years ago, my research was finally completed. First, I snatched the Siberian Special Investigative Forces to establish a transport route for the Snatchers. And then, to test the effect of large-scale snatch operations, I chose Neo-Kobe City to be my experimental sample. Neo-Kobe is cut off from the surrounding areas, a sort of miniature country in itself, making it a perfect test site. And since it's a melting pot of various races, it would also allow me to gather extensive data on Snatcher modification and operational techniques. In addition, the element of suspicion or mistrust, which runs deep in Japanese culture, was another reason I chose this site.
But your test revealed a critical flaw in your machine's artificial skin.
Yes, quite unexpected, I'm afraid. All my research for 40 years. I gathered data and worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work.
So that's why you decided to bring Professor Modner here, right?
That's correct. I discovered my father in one of the government's hospitals. He was old, but still very sound of mind. Naturally, he would not cooperate with me.
Of course not. He'd never become involved in something like that.
So, unable to receive his assistance, I decided that I had to have yours. But a mistake on my part allowed both you and Gillian to be taken into custody by the authorities first.
Just what are you trying to accomplish, Elijah? You must know you can never get Jamie back.
I'm only interested in discovering what I can of the human animal. In the past, it was because of Jamie. My motive is different now.
It sounds like you're just suffering from the wild arrogance that corrupts so many scientists.
Humans are such weak creatures. No matter how much they trust one another, the tiniest speck of suspicion can destroy it all. Look at how the Snatcher problem has caused such wild unrest. No matter how much science advances or how high we set our ideals, we eventually begin to suspect each other, to hate each other, and then to kill each other. The Snatchers are nothing more than a tool for bringing out this reaction. I am simply using the Snatchers to elicit the true nature of the human animal.
Oh.
I think this experiment has shown me the limits of human society. I sincerely doubt it will be able to reach any greater level of prosperity on its own. If human society ever hopes to reach greater heights, what is needed is an absolute leader, a firm ruler who isn't affected by these trivial episodes of mistrust.
You're crazy if you think people would ever obey Snatchers.
Of course they wouldn't. But if they don't know, they cannot object. There has been a time in every age that the people have longed for a god to lead them. As long as they give the people no reason to suspect them, then they can easily become their gods, indeed, a new race of super beings. We are almost there. Once we perfect the artificial skin, Snatchers will transcend man to become this planet's true human beings.
But you'll never get your perfect skin now. Professor Modner is dead.
I no longer have any use for my father. I have a sample of the new skin he developed. Once I've analyzed it, I'll be able to make as much as I need. Or if need be, we could simply culture the keratinized cells, epithelial cells, and melanocytes in the quantities that we need.
What are you talking about? How could you get a sample of perfected artificial skin?
Why don't you take a look at this? We found this in the rubble of Queen's Hospital.
Random!
Oh, an acquaintance of yours?
He's a Snatcher?
That term isn't exactly accurate. This bio-droid was constructed by my father without my knowledge. He modeled it after me in my youth. He built it right here in this facility. And not only that, he programmed it to destroy Snatchers. This bio-droid caused me serious difficulties. It's designed and built far better than my Snatchers. The machine itself thought it was human. My father input memories for it all the way back to childhood. Those too were apparently mine. Haven't you yet realized? Random Hajil is Elijah Modner spelled backwards. How like my father, silly old man. He did virtually overnight what I could not do in 40 years of effort. Furthermore, he makes a bio-droid so perfect, even the bio-droid itself believes itself to be real. What's more, the cells of the skin he developed are self-replicating. Once in place, no further transplants or culturing is necessary.
Is he dead?
Its main and locomotive systems are completely shut down. It's just scrap now. But the artificial skin is being kept alive. This we need. With this, we can move to phase 2 of our plan of full-scale infiltration of the world's major nations.
The summit's already over. You'll never succeed.
What does the summit matter? Nothing holds us back now that we have this perfect skin. We can go anywhere we want, and there will be no way to tell us apart. I will have free control over the world. Nothing will be able to stop me. Politics and free thought will no longer have any meaning. My will alone will decide the course of human history.
You egomaniac. Do you think you can snatch the entire population?
There's a fully automated Snatcher factory under the Kremlin. Even as we speak, scores of new Snatchers are being born.
But no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to snatch the people's heart and soul. What do you hope to gain from this anyway?
Jamie, the human race is composed of fools. But I'm different. I will be its savior. Indeed, not just of mankind, but of all life on the planet.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Metal!
In 10 minutes, this church will be struck by a phased particle beam. I am guiding the beam from the attack satellite using GPS and 15 navigational satellites. The beam cannot miss. Everything in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius from me will be destroyed.
Stop this foolishness now. I will not have my research destroyed by some souped-up pocket calculator.
Metal, what happened at the summit?
The delegates, worried about the Snatcher menace, voted unanimously to allow the use of nuclear weapons on the city. The military is presently imposing a quarantine on Neo-Kobe.
What? Do they intend to kill everybody?
The populace is in a state of panic. However, they have agreed to lift the quarantine if this church is struck by the phased particle beam. This is our last chance. I will handle things here. Gillian, Jamie, you two must flee.
You insignificant mass of metal. You'll never...
One move and I detonate. Gillian, run!
Metal, this is crazy!
We can't let a single Snatcher get out of here. And this new artificial skin has to be destroyed as well.
I will not allow some talking scrap pile to get away with this. If you are the aiming point for the beam, then I'll just have you thrown out of here. Grab this little one and take him out of here.
Uh-oh. How did he tape those onto him?
Metal!
Cowardly little robot.
You always were a real pain in the butt.
What's that?
What? How did... You're supposed to be deactivated.
I don't go down that easy, old man.
Stop this foolish...
Shut up! Let's try to make our final moments peaceful, shall we? And you Snatchers, you touch the little guy and the old man's head comes off. Random! I've always hated being used. Why don't you watch the final act with me?
Gillian, you only have 5 minutes. The turbo cycle is just outside on standby. Use that to flee.
Let me go. I'm Elijah Modner. I'm your original.
I don't care if I'm an original or a copy or what. You and I are gonna die right here. If we both die, there won't be a copy anymore now, will there?
The stupid logic of a simpleton, of a machine.
Whatever it is, it's my will!
Machines have no will. Machines cannot sacrifice themselves.
We'll see about that.
You have 4 minutes. You must go. And don't forget to take care of the factory under the Kremlin.
Stop!
Gillian, even if these memories in my head are fiction... Yeah, I know what you mean. Our memories of our time together are all too real, Random.
Gillian, you've become one hell of a junker.
Gillian, it has been most recreational being your partner.
Oh, Metal!
If you can, try to pick up the pieces for me, okay? Like we did for Little John?
Little John? Oh! Okay, Metal.
Hurry! You only have 3 minutes!
Thanks! Thanks, you two! Jamie, come on!
No! Don't let her go! No!
You pathetic old fool! You don't even know how to love someone!
You stupid machine! What is that idiotic grin supposed to mean?
By snatching you, I'm finally gonna get my real self back!
What?
Random, there's less than 1 minute to go. Thanks to you, everything will be fine.
You don't owe me any thanks. Sorry to get you involved in such a big job. You did great. You're a hell of a junker.
3, 2, 1, here it comes!
Later, kid!
Whoa. That took off more than the church.
Division has completed boarding. 7th Mechanized Infantry Team has completed boarding. 17th Special Engineering Squad report for boarding immediately.
So you're really going, aren't you?
It's our responsibility, too. Besides, if I go to Moscow, I may get some of my memory back. And if that happens, I'll be able to love you even more than I do now. Wait for me. I want to be with you, but first I've got to destroy this terrible factory of theirs. Jamie, when I get back, let's try living together again. What do you say?
13th Special Operations Squad and all J.U.N.K.E.R personnel report immediately for departure.
We'll be waiting for you too.
Katrina! Mika! You're here too?
You better be happy, Buster, with all these beautiful women seeing you off.
I'm happy you came. Let me introduce my wife.
Jamie Seed. I suppose it's a little odd introducing myself a second time, though.
What do you mean? You've never met them before, have you?
What are you talking about, Gillian? We're good friends.
Huh? Since when?
It's the first time I've met her in person, but I've spoken with her on the video phone a lot of times.
What? Have you guys been talking about me behind my back?
Uh-oh. He's in trouble. And what about dinner with Mika? Wow, that cutscene was so long that my controller turned off. There's a little LED. This is a 8-bit DOE 2.4 gigahertz controller. It's not Bluetooth, and the dongle works on actual Genesis. Like it fits in the Genesis controller port, so that's kind of cool. Let's look. I'm really sorry for all the worry I've caused you. This kid has such a rough time. Has had such a rough time. She lost almost everything practically overnight. Yeah, did she find out about Alice? She's done a really great job. I owe her a lot of thanks. I was telling Mika about how lonely it was being home alone all the time. And she told me that Jamie was always worried about me. So I gave her a video phone call. Trying to learn more about you was what got our relationship started. Before I knew it, we really became close, didn't we? With even Alice gone, I was really lonely. Katrina. By the time I return, I'll probably have my memory back. Don't worry. I promise to make you happy. I just couldn't stand to leave such a cute kid all by herself. Don't worry, Mika. This is one job I won't mess up. How long do I do this for? Our relationship has gone beyond just being friends. Beyond just friends? Ahem, that sounds pretty good to me. Yo, dude, your wife is right there. They're both so easy to talk to. It's like I've got two real sisters now. You might be a bit lonely for a while, but I'll be back soon. Hang in there. I don't think she cares. We got these two buddies here. I'm going to memorize every detail of Katrina's lovely face so I don't forget it. Dude, your wife is right there. Gillian, would you stop that? I feel like you're undressing me with your eyes. I feel like you are undressing me with your eyes. Don't worry, Mika. This one job. Okay, so he said that already. Let's keep talking. No more looking. Oh, don't be stupid, Gillian. You have a warped mind sometimes, you know. They're just like family to me now. How often does this end? I don't care if you get your memory back or not. Why? Because getting your memory back will mean that you'll remember those things about me that you hated. Things that I hated? What are you talking about? Dealing with each other's imperfections is part of being married is all about, Jamie. Gillian, don't worry. No memories will change how I feel about you. Look at her again. Thank you, Gillian. It's good to hear you say that. There we go.
So have they finalized what they're going to do about J.U.N.K.E.R operations? I suppose this will end up being our last mission, huh?
Well, originally they were planning on disbanding the team, but now they've decided to keep us in business.
So that means...
That's right. We've been designated as one of the government's special police divisions. That puts us above the regular cops.
So the government has decided that crime by machines poses a bigger threat than crime by humans from here on out, huh?
They've chosen the new chief, too. So when you get back, you'll get to meet the new head honcho.
Well, it's comforting to know I've got a place I can come back to.
Have a safe trip, Second Lieutenant Seed. I'm Second Lieutenant as well, so let's try to work well together when you get back. What? I'm a Second Lieutenant? How come my rank is even lower than what I had in the army, eh?
Whatever you do, just come home safe, okay?
When you get back from this job, you still have a dinner date to keep with me, you know.
Don't worry. I won't forget my promises to either of you. Oops, almost forgot. Of course, I'll want to spend some private moments with my wife, too, huh? What's wrong, Jamie?
Oh.
Harry and I will be waiting for you to get home.
That's Harry's hat.
We can do it this time, Gillian. Not some fake couple like before, but with love and trust.
I know, Jamie.
Take care, Gillian.
I'll see you, Jamie.
Wait! Wait for me! Take me with you, please!
What?
You? Metal?
Yes, sir! We didn't have a good frame to work with, so this is just a temporary body. Just call me Metal Gear, SEGA CD for now.
So they found your memory chip in one piece, eh?
Random protected it from the blast of the beam.
Random, huh?
I heard someone sneeze.
Wait a second. I've heard that sneeze somewhere before.
Really? I didn't hear anything. Anyway, I want to know if you'll take me with you. Please, Gillian, please take me with you.
Hurry up and get on board, partner.
Yes, sir, Gillian.
He's a Model 2 Sega Genesis and Sega CD combo. cool.
Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict. The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts. This conflict has just begun.
Too bad there was no Snatcher 2. Guys, we beat a game. Hideo Kojima, thank you. This is the second game I've beaten in its entirety on Twitch. So thank you for joining me for that. If you enjoyed yourself, actually even if you didn't, please follow me. I'm trying to get to 50 followers. Look at that cool pose. I'll enjoy some of this music. This act was mostly cutscenes, eh? I didn't really do much except for shooting and some listening and investigating. That's about it. Even at the end, my main character had to get really creepy. Apparently, my connection isn't that good. Yeah, I'm noticing some skippiness. I wonder if the internet's okay. Is it raining out there? Can't see anything outside. Well, the good part is I'm recording this, so I can also upload it to YouTube instead of exporting from Twitch. It's kind of shitty that it was choppy. Sorry about that. I don't know what's wrong here. Yeah, it looks like I'm uploading at Katrina there. Uploading at a random frame rate. It's not 60 right now. I wonder what changed. Oh, Jim Parks did many voices. So did Ray Van Steen. I just saw my thing go red for a second. That's not good. Damn. Yeah. At least we beat Snatcher. Yeah, Ben, I don't know what's going on. Some bad internet going on. I wish I could screenshot some of these things, but I'm running off a SEGA CD. Not emulation. Hardware replication. Okay. Let's see what happens. I'm going to press A. Oop, nothing. I'm going to press B. Nothing. I'm going to press C. Nothing. Now here's the test. If I hit start, is it nothing? Nope. Oh. It resets fully. Cool. Okay. That was a stream, I guess. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. Oh, Georgina's here too. Hope you had a good time. Let me switch it over here. Bam. The next game I'm going to play, I haven't even decided yet. So if you have any recommendations or suggestions, let me know. I know Ivan has already given some, and they're mostly of the turn-based strategy variety, like Final Fantasy Tactics and things like that. I should also check on the new XCOM game to see if they fixed the game-breaking bug in there, and maybe I'll play some of that. Maybe, you know, try a 16:9 game for a change, see how that goes. Audio's good. Okay, good. Thank you, Georgina. Also, I still have to play my random game that I picked while Sean was watching. It was Super Volleyball on the TurboGrafx 16, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun. What else can I say? Again, please follow me if this is your first time here. Now my video is frozen. This is great. Fantastic. Thanks, Twitch. Hopefully it's Twitch and not me, because we have fiber internet. We're paying good money. Come on. All right, I'll stop dragging this out. Thank you again. Have a good weekend. I'll try to figure out what's going on with the bandwidth situation here. And hopefully I have time to stream tomorrow with a new game, or maybe that volleyball game. We'll see. Cheers. Wash your hands. Wear a face mask when you go outside. And if you can, donate to something. Donate to some COVID response. Donate to Black Lives Matter in your town, city, country, whatever. Donate to My Extra Life. There's a donate button below if you're watching on Twitch. Otherwise, you could check out extra-life.farhanjawani.com, and or just look at my Twitch page. There's a link or somewhere for it. And you could donate to help my local children's hospital, Sick Kids, the hospital for sick children. Anyways, cheers, bye. Hopefully the video isn't lagged. Hopefully you can hear the song. I think it's Xenogears right now, yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching.